What if surviving the apocalypse meant taking on ruthless gangs, and even your neighbors? In The Domestics, love, betrayal, and bloodshed collide. You won't believe who makes it out alive. Today, I'll recap a 2018 action thriller film, The Domestics, so keep your eyes wide open and stay safe because this one gets wild. The movie begins with a horrifying twist. The US government launches a devastating chemical weapons attack on its own people to reset society. The attack wipes out most of the population, leaving only two groups to survive in the wasteland. The first group is made up of violent gangs that rule over territories with fear and destruction. They go by names like the Gamblers, the Sheets, the Plowboys, the Nailers, and the Cherries. Each group has its own twisted rules and brutal ways of staying on top. The second group is called the Domestics. These are the people who want nothing to do with the gangs. They only wish for peace, staying unaffiliated and avoiding the chaos at all costs. But in a world like this, peace comes with a price. To add to the madness, there's Crazy Al, a DJ who broadcasts updates over the radio. His eerie narrations and dark humor give a grim look into the crumbling state of society as he plays tunes that somehow make the nightmare even creepier. Mark and Nina West are on a tense road trip to Nina's parents' house in Milwaukee, but things aren't exactly smooth sailing. Before the chaos began, they were already struggling with the decision to get a divorce. Now, the crumbling world around them adds an extra layer of tension to their journey. While stopping to rest at a house along the way, their survival instincts are put to the test. Mark is forced to kill two members of the Nailers after the gang tracks them down. It's a brutal moment that leaves both of them shaken but alive. Later, desperate for supplies, the couple scavenges through a store, only to face even more danger when a new group of Nailers comes after them. Just when it seems like there's no way out, Nathan Wood and his son Steven step in to save the day. The father-son duo proves to be a rare ray of hope in a world filled with violence. Nathan invites Mark and Nina back to his home, where they meet his wife and daughter and share a meal. It feels almost normal until the harsh reality of the world creeps in again. On their way to Nathan's house, they have a tense encounter with members of the Plowboys, another ruthless gang. During dinner, Nathan shares a chilling story with Mark. He tells him about a rumored gang of children who, unlike the other groups, rely on unsettling tactics to take down their victims. One gang member had been found with stab wounds that were disturbingly low on their body, suggesting the attackers were much smaller. The meal may have been warm, but the world outside is colder and crueler than ever. The visit takes a dark and deadly turn. As tensions reach a breaking point, Nathan drops a horrifying revelation. Mark and Nina had unknowingly eaten human flesh during their meal. The shocking news sends chills through them, but the nightmare is far from over. Suddenly, a surviving Nailer from the earlier home invasion appears. He had followed them, and now holds Nathan's daughter at knife point. The Nailer makes a grim demand, offering to spare the girl in exchange for Mark and Nina. The air grows thick with fear as the room erupts in chaos when Steven, Nathan's son, launches an ambush on the intruder. In the commotion, Mark and Nina seize the chance to escape, but their escape comes at a horrible cost. Behind them, the Woods family faces unspeakable tragedy. The Nailer kills Nathan's wife and daughter before Nathan takes him down. Fueled by rage and grief, Nathan vows revenge, calling for backup from his Plowboy allies through his CB radio. As Mark and Nina speed away in their car, their fragile relationship shatters into a fiery argument. The tension explodes until a gambler, lurking in the distance, fires a shot that strikes Nina in the shoulder. She passes out, leaving Mark panicked and desperate. With no other choice, he turns back, retreating into the chaos they tried to leave behind. The Wests stumble upon an abandoned house, desperate for a moment of rest, unaware that danger is close behind. A deserter from the Cherries named Betsy has been secretly following them, driven by a strange obsession with Nina. Betsy has a dark history. She escaped the Plowboys' captivity by killing her captors and freeing several imprisoned women. Now injured, Betsy earns Mark's cautious trust. He treats her wounds and lets her rest in the house while trying to figure out their next move. Mark ventures into another nearby house for supplies, but is ambushed by William Cunningham, a flamboyant and unhinged madman. To Mark's horror, William has also captured Nathan and Steven, who had been tracking the Wests. To assert his twisted power, William forces Mark into a brutal fight against his massive enslaved bodyguard. Meanwhile, back at the house, Nina wakes up and finds herself at a crossroads. She takes off her wedding ring, placing it on a stand as she wrestles with the idea of leaving Mark for good. But then, she stumbles across heartfelt notes that Mark had written, pleading with her to give their relationship one last chance. Moved by his words, she finds a box of old records and a bottle of alcohol, puts on her favorite heavy metal album, and begins dancing. As the music plays, the story cuts back to Mark's desperate fight. The slave hurls Mark into William, and in that chaotic moment, Mark overpowers and kills the deranged captor. Instead of seeking vengeance, Mark frees the slave, offering him a chance at freedom. Nathan and Stephen, now released, decide to leave their pursuit behind. Nathan, finally letting go of his rage, forgives Mark and wishes both him and Nina the best as they continue their dangerous journey. It's a bittersweet goodbye, but it marks a turning point for everyone. Mark and Nina reunite at the house, where a bittersweet surprise awaits. Nina has found an old car that looks just like the one Mark owned when they first started dating. The familiar sight sparks a moment of joy between them, and they rekindle their love amidst the chaos of their world. But danger is never far. Unbeknownst to them, the car belongs to a group of gamblers. The gang soon arrives, capturing Mark and Nina and dragging them to their clubhouse. There, they're forced into a twisted game of Russian roulette, with Mark taking a bullet to the shoulder. As tension and fear grip the room, Nina summons her courage, breaks free, and grabs a gun. She takes down the sadistic host of the game, creating enough chaos to escape with Mark. They steal a car and finally reach Nina's parents' house, hoping for a safe haven. Once there, Nina tends to Mark's wounds and tries to catch her breath, but heartbreak follows when she learns from neighbors that her parents have passed away. The once safe home now feels empty and cold. Meanwhile, Mark regains consciousness, only to find another blow waiting for them. Nina's father's prized Wild E Hunter pistol, a treasured keepsake, has been stolen. The loss hangs heavy, another reminder that in this brutal world, nothing is ever truly safe. Nina begins to grow uneasy about Phil, a neighbor and supposed family friend, when she overhears him speaking suspiciously on a radio. Her fears are confirmed when it's revealed that Phil betrayed them, tipping off the gamblers, who soon arrive in the neighborhood. Adding to the chaos, Betsy has also made her way there, driven by her connection to Nina. A violent and bloody showdown erupts as Mark and Nina, with the help of another neighbor and Betsy, defend themselves against the gamblers. The battle grows even more chaotic when the last two surviving plowmen join in, cutting through the gamblers as they seek revenge on Betsy. Gunfire and screams echo through the streets, leaving a trail of destruction. When the dust settles, nearly everyone involved in the fight is dead. Before succumbing to a fatal wound from a remaining gambler, Betsy returns Nina's wedding ring to Mark, saying, for her, heartbroken but enraged, Nina shoots the gambler, ending the bloodshed. Nina, still consumed by anger, storms into Phil's house, ready to confront or even kill him. But inside, she finds a chilling scene. Bloody, child-sized footprints lead toward the front door, and Phil lies dead, with multiple stab wounds in his abdomen. Her investigation uncovers more horrifying truths. Phil had secretly been a gambler, as revealed by the tattoo under his arm sleeve. Among his possessions, Nina finds her father's stolen Wild E Hunter pistol, a grim reminder of the chaos he caused. But the nightmare doesn't end there. Nina learns that the helpful neighbor who had joined their fight was killed, not by an enemy, but by another neighbor's child. This confirms the horrifying rumor Nathan had shared earlier. A gang of young killers is real, and they've left their dark mark on this neighborhood. Mark and Nina, battered but alive, take a brief moment to breathe at Nina's parents' house. The air feels heavy with loss, but they know staying there isn't an option. After gathering supplies and what little strength they have left, they pack up and leave, heading into the unknown once more. As they drive away, the crackling voice of Crazy Al fills the radio. His latest broadcast paints a vivid picture of survival and rebellion. Al speaks of a couple who stood against the gamblers in Milwaukee, defeating them in a bloody showdown. Though Al doesn't name them directly, it's clear he's talking about Mark and Nina. He warns other gangs about their actions, calling them a force to be reckoned with. But at the same time, his words carry something rare in this broken world: hope. Crazy Al's broadcast offers a glimmer of possibility, a hint that maybe, just maybe, the domestics can fight back. For Mark and Nina, their story isn't just about survival anymore. It's about making a stand in a world desperate for change. So, which awesome movie should we recap next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and let's make it happen. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our movie recaps. We've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Produced by Warner Movie Recaps 2.